Phil Lindemann, Crystal 93 News Director, in the studio today with Billy Merrill and Levi Corrigan of High Five. They're a longtime band here in Summit County. Guys, thanks for coming in to join me today.
Thanks for having us.
And we are looking forward to plenty of you guys all summer long. You just played a show at Snake River Saloon for Jerry Garcia's death anniversary. Kind of a bummer, but still fun to get out there and play. Tell me about playing that show. What kind of songs were you guys playing? You did a whole set for him.
Yeah, obviously not just Jerry originals, but we played Ain't No Bread in the Bread Box, West LA Fadeaway, Scarlet Begonias, just a bunch of really good well-known tunes.
The kind of stuff that you guys are playing normally if you're out playing, just not all, just not all in one set like you guys did last night.
Right.
Great. What do you like about doing kind of a set like that? Sometimes that you can focus in on just one type of music.
I guess trying to feel the vibe of all those songs. There's a similar vibe that you just kind of stay with, whereas if you mix it up, dancey tune, a bluegrass tune, you're switching all sorts of rhythms and everything else.
Yeah, definitely. And Billy, you were last night. What were you playing on?
Mostly keyboards. Just gives a bit of a nice feel with the sustain organs and everything else. But when we have a guest come in on a guitar, it's just nice to round out with keyboards.
Yeah, absolutely. Levi, and you're usually guitar or always guitar?
Yes, guitar 24/7. Been moving towards a little more of an electric feel here the last few years, but still enjoy playing the acoustic. And respect those guys that can do it well. It's not easy.
Yeah, that's the truth, right? And you guys, when it comes to playing, you've been doing this for a long time. How many years playing in the county?
In the county, 13, I would say. I mean, our first gig probably wasn't until a year or two after we really got together.
13 years playing together, and always the same group of guys, or people come and go? That's a long time for a group, especially Summit County, to be same people, same members.
It's shifted. Same drummer. I stepped away. I had a bit of a hiatus for a few years. A few different bass players. You guys had a keyboard come in for a while. But yeah, for the most part.
The same core group, our drummer, Jay Davis, holding us down.
And over time, what have you guys enjoyed about growing as a band, that's playing here locally? Because that's a long time for a band to be together, especially in an area where it just seems like people are coming and going all the time.
Yeah, I mean, playing with these same guys, especially Levi, I kind of know where he's gonna go without even having a nod or a look or him shouting across the stage. I can almost feel it. Same thing with Jay. It's just real good to have that camaraderie.
Well, it's unique in the fact that we all have such a wide variety of music that we listen to and love, and so it really gives us a lot of opportunities to explore a lot of different sounds and keep it fresh for us.
Playing a little bit of everything, and kind of, over time, I'm sure that you guys have seen your own taste change, and the music that you guys are playing live change as well. Almost like, I don't know, sports metaphor, but it's like the baseball team that's been together for a long time. You got your veterans together and all those guys just enjoying learning each other. You don't have to, like you said, you kind of know just where somebody's going by how they're playing. Tell me, we'll take it back even further, how you guys got into music in general. So Billy, what's your background just with music and getting from?
Well, when I was young, my parents tried to get me to take piano lessons, and that view generally was kind of frowned upon. Made you look a bit of a wuss to play keys when you were that young. So I declined. Wishing I would have now. Got a guitar when I was 15. Was really diligent with it. Played, I'd say, daily for a few hours. Got better. Started playing with a few people where I grew up in Pennsylvania. Different collaborations. Moved out to Colorado. Picked up a keyboard that is just an old Yamaha, kind of crappy. Started playing with it. Got better at that. started buying newer, better equipment at that as well. And finally, I think I have my gears sorted out now, but I'm always looking to buy new stuff.
Well, and I'm sure that when you finally picked up those keys, that old Yamaha, were you thinking, damn, I wish I would have done those piano lessons way back in the day?
Because especially music theory makes so much more sense on a piano than it does guitar. And I still can't read music to save my life, but being able to see the different keys and chords and how they relate to each other on a keyboard makes so much more sense than a guitar.
Yeah, well, I'm right there with you, because when I was a kid, piano lessons, I wasn't forced to do them, but I was pretty much told, you do these, and otherwise you can't do the other stuff that you want to do. And so, yeah, whenever I went to piano lessons, I would tell friends that I was at baseball practice or doing something totally different. Yeah, it wasn't the sort of thing that you admitted to. It's like, I feel like Weird Al Yankovic one time said that he never told anybody he played accordion until all of a sudden the accordion became his career. So you never know where that leads you. Levi, how about yourself? How'd you get into music?
Well, I was a bit of a late bloomer. It's hard for me to sit down as a youngster, always on the move. But yeah, my dad always played guitar, so I was always around it. And as I got a little bit older and had the time to sit down, started enjoying playing guitar and just learning some songs that other people did. And then figured out it was a great creative outlet from there. And started writing my own music. Met up with these guys, started jamming in the basement down in Dillon off of Cottonwood Drive. And we've just kind of let it flow from there.
Now, how did you go from, just learning to wanting to be able to write music? What was it that inspired you to, not just play what other people have done, but to, I want to make my own stuff?
Well, I think, as human beings, we need that creative outlet. I came from a writer and an art teacher, so the creativity is definitely in me. I also like performing, like being out, feeling the vibe of the crowd. So I think those two things coupled together really inspired me to take this to the next level.
Yeah, the crowd piece of that. I'm sure that you guys, again, being around as long as you have, you've seen lots of crowds come and go. What kind of crowds have you enjoyed playing for the most? Like the Sixth Alley ones. We were talking that you guys play Sixth Alley quite a bit, and it's usually acoustic. I imagine that's a much different crowd than what you get those afternoon or those evening shows at Lake Dillon Tavern after, a Dillon Amphitheater show.
It is, yeah. I often say that the Sixth Alley is my favorite gig to play simply because not everybody is demanding you to play certain songs, but they're still attentive, they're still appreciative. Most of them are just sitting down having a beer, but that's just the vibe I tend to like. Every once in a while at the Snake, when you get a whole dance party on the dance floor, then yeah, there's energy flowing. That's also fun, but it's not as sustainable sometimes.
Yeah, Levi and yourself, where do you like to play the most, or what do you find you're enjoying the most?
I'm happy if people are enjoying it, then we have met our goal. But yeah, it's fun when people get loosened up and start moving around a little bit. That's a different vibe going, but we also love when people are listening and paying attention and appreciating what we're bringing to the table.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than being in a band and seeing people staring blankly, nobody moving, nobody looking like they're enjoying it or anything. But Sixth Alley, like you said, it's sometimes that's the vibe. It's you're just playing for people who just want some good background music. Yep. When you guys are playing a gig like that, do you bring the full band or do you tend to split off into duo or?
It's the same high five band, just he and I play predominantly acoustic guitars, and I'd say the bass player doesn't play as many of his electronic pedals that make it more.
Well, we love the Sixth Alley and the fact that it is almost like being in two different bands, because we get to come in and showcase a bunch of different tunes that maybe aren't acceptable to play in the bar late night.
True. When it comes to music, you guys are doing originals. How do you write those originals? Are you playing many of the originals out at these shows, or mostly covers?
I'd say half and half.
Okay.
I've been in a bit of a writing block myself, but when I write music, I tend to think of a melody first and then let the chords come after that.
And I do not have any guidelines for that. Just try to get out of the way. Sometimes the chords come first, sometimes it's the words. and the chords get added later. It's and there's so many different genres out there. So really just getting out of the way, making the time to do it, and then a lot of times we bring it to the table. We'll play it a few times, kind of feel it out, and then arrange it from there.
Play it live or play it just together as a band?
Together at practice or just jamming.
Okay, gotcha. Now, who else is in the band? So you got the longtime drummer.
Longtime drummer Jay Davis, great friend of ours, and the steady, the rock of the band, holding it down for us.
Absolutely.
And then the last 3 years, we've added Tyler Easton on the bass guitar, just a fabulous local bass player that plays with just about everybody, and really can do just about anything.
But still makes time to come out and play some gigs with you guys. Where can people be finding you throughout the summer right now? Where will you guys be playing through August?
Well, our next show will be at the Lake Dillon Tavern on August 17th after the Whalers concert down at the Dillon Amphitheater. And then on August 24th, we're at the Friday Afternoon Club on top of Keystone Mountain, which is a great spot. A free concert for everybody to come out, free gondola rides. And, just a whole lot of fun, as long as the weather holds up.
Yeah, right. Those mountaintop concerts always rely on the weather. Have you guys done any of those Friday Afternoon Club shows yet this year, or is that first one?
This will be the first for this year, although we've done several in the past.
And he and I played a duo up at the Stube Alpenglow for a bluegrass brunch, thrown to us by Jess Rose, also another Summit County musician. That was really fun. Once again, just people at the Stube eating their brunch, but appreciative of good music. Good live music.
Yeah, just a different vibe. And it's interesting to think that there are so many different venues and so many different places to play that one band like yourself can play, 3 different, very different sort of shows throughout the year.
Yeah, you got to be adaptive, but it's also, I say this all the time, we're in such a unique situation in Summit County because every single week we can have a different audience of people rolling through on their vacations and everything else.
It's like we're on tour.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to tour is one of the really good benefits.
And on top of that, it's great to see the Summit County music scene, the direction it's going with the new 10 Mile Room, the new Dillon Amphitheater, of course, Arapahoe Basin supporting live music from Friday to Sunday. All winter long, there's just a lot of opportunities for people to get out there and showcase their talents.
Yeah, there definitely are big things happening in the music scene right now, and like you said, from the 10 Mile Music Hall to the Dillon Amphitheater to all those little shows, those pockets of shows you guys are playing everywhere. Speaking of, every show can bring a different crowd because it feels like you're almost on tour with different people in town. Favorite crowds that you guys have come across this year? Any crowds stick out in mind, or any people that really stick out in mind from some of these shows?
Can't think of any off the top of my head necessarily, no.
Well, my favorite crowd was not even at a High Five show. It was the string cheese incident down at the Dillon Amphitheater. It was a special vibe going on.
Yeah, that was a huge show. Did you go to both days of it?
Of course.
Made it to both days. Sometimes you got to put your own music on hold to go catch the good stuff. That's in
right.
town.
Music, job, life, everything. Put it all on hold.
Yeah, that's the truth. Especially a midweek concert like that, everything's got to go on hold for a little bit. Great. Well, we were going to have you guys play a quick acoustic song. What did you guys have in mind for playing today?
Well, I think we were going to do a number that I wrote a couple years back. Camping down in Crested Butte off of the Slate River. This is a tune that, well, it just kind of started off free flow of lyrics. We start off with a Bobby Weir quote, of all things. He did an interview with Dan Rather called The Big Interview. It's a great show if you guys haven't checked it out before. So we start off with a Bob Weir quote. The song ends with a Bob Weir quote, the same one, of course, the only repeated words of the whole tune. So it's really kind of a fun number in the fact that it just keeps flowing, just
Very
like the
cool.
water.
Great. And the name of the song?
It is called Steerin' Weir.
Steerin' Weir with High Five on Crystal 93.
knocked on the door opened wide, then some sort of wind pushed me from behind. Slipping through the door, the ground fell away, and I was transported to this world I'm living in today. The water flows sweetly trickling down the rocks, well, words of wisdom from a distant cloud. Shining things and bells and ring to give you a smile. Well, the instant thrills you on the feel for a while. The water flows on and on. Well, the rooster crows the signal of new dawn. The world turns, we grow old. Well, the wind keeps blowing, the story unfolds. Well, I heard the tree yell when I fell in the woods. I stole a kiss from every girl I could. Not your enemy, I'm just misunderstood. Well, you're already forgiven, that's what makes me feel good. Once was a land where the buffalo roamed, till the white man came to make it his home. He took it away from all that we're here. Well, we claimed it for his own, now his rules it here. Work a lifetime to buy all you can buy. Why the poor go hungry, politicians tell lies. Forget what you know about the common good. Save a man for himself, I'd help you if only I could. Can anyone hear me? Now how do you feel? I want to keep it positive, but let's be real. Like Bob said, you gotta serve someone. Well, it might be the devil or God's only son. Maybe it's yourself or the stars in the sky. The only given in this life is that one day you'll die. Forget what you know, blow up your TV. I said light one up, pass it around to me. Take me to a place where the pine trees climb so high in the sky. With the stars they shine so bright from there you cannot hide. With the cool water it comes rushing by. We're somewhere out there between heaven and hell, and a paradise divide. May the morning sun beat down on your face, may it warm you to your bones. Last night it was your warm embrace, you know it kept me from the cold. There's a curtain covering that which we cannot see. There's a preacher man preaching, telling us what to believe. Now I know the water keeps flowing downstream. One day the harvest is plentiful, and the next day it's lean. Knocked on the door opened wide, then some sort of wind pushed me from behind. It swept me through the door, the ground fell away, and I was transported to this world I'm living in today.
That was High Five with Steering Weir. Guys, that was great. Fantastic. And it was fun. It was a lot of fun to be here watching you guys do the dueling guitar thing almost. And is that kind of what you can expect from you two, when you both bring out the acoustic guitars, when you're playing around town?
When we play live, we switch it off pretty well. We've played most of these songs enough times that we know our parts and when it's coming and when to switch off.
True. And Levi, you were saying that's one that you wrote just sitting on the riverbanks. Is that where you tend to find yourself writing? Is, out in nature or when you'd least expect it? Or does it just kind of, writing just happens whenever?
It just kind of happens when it happens.
Yeah, and that song especially was great because you had the Bob Weir connection and all that good stuff. How often do you look to other artists for inspiration when you're doing, when you're writing your own tunes, or what artists do you find to be the most inspirational when you're writing your own music?
I personally have all sorts of different artists that I take from, most likely subconsciously. I don't try to mimic them intentionally, but Herbie Hancock, his creativity, his imaginative ways of going about writing songs is really inspiring. Robert Walter from Grey Boy All Stars, his keyboard playing the same. He kind of always has a different way of going about the music that I try to pull from.
And Levi, yourself?
I just like it all. We go get stuck listening to, a lot of times whatever my wife really wants to listen to. But singer-songwriter stuff is obviously awesome. Love all the jam band stuff. There's really a ton of great music out there, and the singer-songwriter, more stripped down stuff is kind of seems to be trending these days. So it's nice to see those artists getting some props that they deserve. Yeah, it's the full package, trying to put it together, like Billy said earlier, with a melody and a nice rhythm and some words, because we have a large audience, and some people love words, some people love the music, and we just love it all. So
yeah, good to know that you're a band that can do a little bit of all of it and enjoys writing a little bit of all of it too. And where can we find you come winter time? So looking ahead to the winter, where do you guys tend to play? Sixth Alley, obviously.
Sixth Alley and the Snake River Saloon will definitely be back, and we're looking at making our way over to the Outer Range and High Side and Frisco. And, of course, the 10 Mile Rim with the Ohio's 10 Mile Hall.
Looking forward to the opening of that, and looking forward to more from High Five, playing all around town throughout the year. And you guys have been playing plenty for the past 13 years. Next show coming up is going to be August 17th, right after the Whalers concert. Catch them at Lake Dillon Tavern. Guys, thanks again for coming in today. Great to have you play, and great to be seeing you around town.
Thanks, Phil. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and I also appreciate you doing the Summit Music Series, pumping up all the musicians in Summit County. That helps.
It's been so much fun to see the different styles of music and the different influences and what everybody brings to the table. Yeah, for me personally, it's just been a joy to bring you guys in here and talk with the people behind the music.
Well, thanks for pumping up the scene. We certainly appreciate it. And wanted to give one shout out to Smurf and those guys that are doing the Summit County Musician Relief Fund. If anybody needs a charitable cause to give to, it's really a great cause, and we're happy to see it happen here in Summit County.
Absolutely. And when you play shows, who's your number one audience? Who are the people you guys are playing to? When it comes down to the wire.
I mean, both of our wives have to endure our practicing and wrong notes and frustrations, but if we're playing live and I see my wife and my daughter come up to the audience, it's nice. It puts a big old smile on my face.
It's all about the family and friends, and we're blessed to have so many of them here. So.
Yeah, nothing like playing for the hometown crowd. With Billy and Levi of High Five here on Crystal 93.
Was there something that